Hello everyone and welcome back to another video provided by SVSU's online tutoring. My name is Joel and today we'll begin with section 9.1 exponential functions, and the topic is also on exponential functions. So what we're dealing with, what this section reintroduces is just the rules for exponents. So now that we're dealing with a function, we want to keep in mind that the same rules also apply. So I just decided to post those text blurbs there in case you might have forgotten. So what you're expected of is that if you have f of x equal to, say, 3x, when x is equal to 2/3, how do we go about evaluating that? So we have the function evaluated at 2/3, and so we have 3 raised to the 2/3 power. And so this can be written as the cubic root of 3 squared, which is the cube root of 9, and that's approximately 2.08. So that's just the type of math that you're going to be exposed to here. So if, for instance, we had f of x equal to 3x again, or 3 raised to the x power again, with x being equal to -2, x being equal to pi, and x being equal to what's the third number that I have here? 3. We can go ahead and do that. So for this first one, we have f of -2, and so that's 3 raised to the -2 power. Let me fix that. 3 raised to the -2 power, and so that's really 1 over 3 squared, which is 1/9. Here we have f of pi, which is 3 raised to the pi power, and that's approximately 31.544. And finally, we have f of 3, which is 3 cubed, and that's 27. So the only one out of these three that you would have to use a calculator to estimate is this one right here, when x is equal to pi. And that's just because it's an irrational real number. So that's the thing that you want to keep in mind. The rest can be done fairly quickly and without any type of approximation. So then if we go down here, and now we have g of x is equal to -4 raised to the 2x power, and we want to evaluate this function when x is equal to -2, 3/4, and e. So the thing that we want to keep in mind here is that this negative sign, it's outside of our power here. So it's not. What I mean is that it's not included. So if it were included, right, we would have the parentheses surrounding this -4. But that's not the case. So really, it's like we're doing -1 times 4 raised to the 2x power. So that's what you want to keep in mind. So for all of our answers, we'll end up having a negative number. So if we substitute in that -2, we have -1 times 4 raised to the 2 times -2. And so that gives us -1 divided by 4 to the 4th power, which is -1 divided by 256. And so if we have g of 3/4, we'll have that -1 times 4 raised to the 2 times 3/4 power. And so that's -1 times 4 raised to the 6/4, not thirds, 6/4. And so that simplifies to 3/2. And so the thing that we want to keep in mind is that we still have that -1 times the square root of 4 to the 3rd power, and that will give us -1 times the square root of 64, which means that our answer will end up being -8. And finally, we have g of e, and e here is it's something that you'll see later on. It's very helpful for natural logarithms, and it's also generally used for exponential functions. So we have negative 4 raised to the 2 times e, which is just negative 4 2e. And that's a really large number, and I have it written down somewhere. And it's actually negative 1,875.589. So again, if you're giving something like this, you'll have to use a calculator to evaluate. But the other two can be easily done mentally and through our already established rules for exponents. Okay, that does it for this video. In the next one, we'll discuss graphs of exponential functions and how to go about evaluating those. Alright, see you next time.